Hello, everyone. This is Sarah Gordon, Vice President of Advisory Services and Nonprofit Investments with the Center for Financial Services Innovation, or CFSI. We are one of the administering partners of the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge. Thank you for joining us today for MyMoneyAppUp Challenge App Design FAQ webinar. We're really glad you could be with us. Just a reminder that you have the option to listen in with headphones or to call in using your phone. You may select how you'd like to listen in by clicking either telephone or mic and speakers in the pop-up box that appears after you log in. All participants will automatically be placed on mute for the duration of the webinar. So I'd like to begin today by introducing Sophie Raseman from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Sophie is the Director for Smart Disclosures and the Senior Policy Advisor and Co-Chair for the Task Force on Smart Disclosure, who will be making opening remarks on behalf of the Treasury Department. Sophie?
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me since I can't see all of your faces, either smiling or looking quizzically. First of all, my name again is Sophie Raseman. I'm the Director for Smart Disclosure at Treasury. I just want to say how delighted we are about the incredible interest and response we've seen from folks with great ideas and designs for apps. So we're really excited about your participation. We're really grateful for your participation. So I'm going to try to keep my remarks really brief so we can get to the meaty questions that you have about entering the competition. But I'll start by laying out a little bit of why Treasury is so excited about being able to partner with CFSI and D2D on this challenge, and why we think mobile apps are such an important key to expanding financial access and financial capability. So first, to talk about our, why we're engaging in this challenge. On his first day in office, President Obama released a memorandum on transparency and open government that had as two of its core goals increasing the degree of collaboration and participation in government and ushering in an era of unprecedented transparency and openness. And as part of that work, we are focused on tapping into the ingenuity and creativity of those outside of government. That no matter how great your agency is, the smartest people in the world will always work for someone else, to paraphrase an oft-quoted line. So we're very excited about using this challenge to help us source incredibly innovative and thoughtful ideas about how to tackle these intractable issues in financial access and financial education from folks like you on the front line who are close to the consumers, close to these issues, and can share with us some of your insights and ideas. So a little bit more about why we're focused on mobile apps. The mobile channel is an incredibly exciting opportunity to help really change the way we approach financial access and financial education. We've been looking as a department at the mobile channel as a potential game changer for delivering information and resources to people in a way that really addresses their needs, delivers them the right tools in the right time in the context of decision making that can help push breakthroughs in how people manage their money and control their financial lives. So we see this as an incredible growth area. And of course, the marketplace has recognized this as well. There is innovation and a lot of interesting activity and investment in new companies and new ideas in the personal financial management space already. But we think it's just the tip of the iceberg. We think there's a lot more that can be done. And we wanted to draw on folks like you out there in the public to help think through, how do we build on what's already been done and really think about what are the next level of breakthrough innovations for how mobile and the principles of Web 2.0 and design thinking and some of the interesting developments in the marketplace can be applied to these important social problems. So, so that's really the background for why we're so excited about this challenge. I want to take a minute to talk a little bit about smart disclosure, which is something we're encouraging folks to think about as you design, as you think about your app designs. In brief, smart disclosure is an open data initiative. It's a term that the Obama administration is giving to our work to expand access to data that helps seed private sector or social sector innovations that help consumers make better informed choices. So smart disclosure in the context of personal finance means expanding access to data that can help people make better financial choices, whether it's choosing between financial products or thinking about understanding their personal balance sheets, their personal income statements, and setting and sticking to financial goals. So as you think about your own app designs, we'd encourage you to think about what are ways that smart disclosure data can be incorporated in an app to bring even more value to the consumer. And I'll give a few examples of different kinds of data sets that may be of interest. So one category of this kind of data would be data that is released by federal agencies. So there's a wide variety of data, whether it's data from the Survey of Consumer Finances or disclosure data on mortgages or the new database that was released by the new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau on credit card complaints. There's a wide variety of data publicly available online right now that can be incorporated into applications for financial consumers. So that's one category. Another category of data is data on individuals' own financial accounts. So there's already, the marketplace already has many personal financial management apps and tools that allow people to aggregate their financial account information into the app. And we are encouraging you to think about ways that people might aggregate and use their personal financial account information from disparate sources and in ways that promote financial access and financial capability. The last category of data that we'd encourage you to think about is data that the federal government might have on individuals. You aren't limited to data that you can get right now. So when you think about this from the from the perspective of what could be built if certain data were available. So, for example, if you could download and aggregate a person's Social Security benefits information or other benefits information, or if you could aggregate a person's personal historical tax information, what could you build with that? So, in sum, think about what are all the different kinds of data that might be used to power an effective tool to promote financial access or financial education. And don't limit yourself simply to those things that that might be available now. And I also encourage you to look for smart disclosure examples online. So just in closing, I want to say again how excited we are about all of the interest in this competition. And with that, I will turn it back over to Sarah.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you both for your leadership in launching the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge and your commitment to this space. I know we at CFSI are very excited for the opportunity to be partnering with the Treasury Department as well as Doorways to Dreams Fund in administering the challenge. So thank you so much. I'm now going to step us through our agenda for the remainder of the call and explain how you can submit questions. First, Preeti Mehta from D2D is going to give a brief presentation to provide details about the challenge. And then we'll begin answering questions that we've received in advance of the call. And then there will be an opportunity for each of you to submit questions that we will answer during the call. And if you do not hear a response to a question you submit, we encourage you to check back on the challenge website after the call. We'll post all questions and answers there. To ask questions during this call, we ask you to use the question function in the webinar tool. It's in the pop-up box that appears after you log in. You'll see a tab called Questions. Click on that tab to explain the panel, type your question in the box, and click Send on the button. So feel free to do that at any point throughout the presentations and throughout the call. I also want to, before turning it over to Preeti, thank the funders who've helped to make the challenge possible. Support for the prizes and the administration of the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge by Door Waves to Dreams Fund and CFSI comes from the Ford Foundation, Omidyar Network, and the City Foundation. No government funds are being used as part of the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge prizes. So now I'll turn it over to Preeti Mehta from D2D.
Thanks. Thanks, Sarah. I just want to take this opportunity to echo what Sarah said, to thank Sophie for her leadership in getting this challenge designed and launched. And like Sarah, D2D is very excited to partner with both the U.S. Treasury Department as well as CFSI on this great initiative. And thank you all for participating and submitting your great ideas. I'm going to just talk about three main components of the challenge. First, the key dates and the timeline. Talk a bit about judging and the price structure, and then end with a couple of screenshots of the challenge.gov website on which the challenge is hosted. So to the key dates and timelines, as you probably know, the challenge is launched on June 27th. The Idea Bank Challenge ended last night, and the App Design Challenge, which is well underway now, will close at 11:59 p.m. on August 12th. Between August 15th and September 19th will be the judging period, and on September 28th, we will host a winners event for both finalists and winners, at which the winners will be selected and announced. Moving on to talk about the judging criteria, which appears in Section 6 of the rules. We have 4 criteria that we're using to judge the app designs. One is the innovativeness of the idea, so just looking at how innovative the solution is that the app designs are proposing to the problem being discussed. The potential to expand financial capability and or financial access, and there we'll be looking at, the judges will be looking at a number of factors. How significant is the potential impact on consumers? What is the potential for the app to enhance consumer financial capability and decision-making as it applies to the app in question? What is the potential for consumers to use the app to gain access to high-quality financial products and services? What is the potential for the app to help consumers adopt financial behaviors which will help them achieve their financial goals? To what extent does the app incorporate data such as personal account data or data on financial products to promote financial capability and or financial access? The third criterion is feasibility. How feasible would it be to create the app based on the design submitted? Can the design be implemented with available technology? And the fourth criterion that judges will use to evaluate the designs is sustainability. And the two questions that we'll be looking at there is, what is the potential for the app to attract users? And what is the potential for the app to have a sustainable business model? There will be 2 rounds of judging. The first round of judging will be, the judges for the first round of judging will be comprised of judges from the administrators, CFSI, and DDD funds. And the final round judges, we will have 6 prominent personnel. We have Chris Bishko from the Media Network, Jean Chatsky, who is a personal finance journalist and has the regular appearances on the Today Show and other networks. Today Show on NBC and other networks, Katie Middick, Sendhil Mullainathan, Carol Riolini, and Jonathan Weiner. And as you know, we will have cash prizes. We will have 5 cash prizes for 3 categories of winners. The grand prize winner, there will be 1 grand prize winner who will win a cash prize of $10,000. The runners-up, there will be 2 runners-up who will get $5,000 each, and 2 winners who will gain an honorable mention, again, of $2,500 each. On the screen now, you see a screenshot of the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge. That's the main screen, the home page, and you see that we have there are several tabs that contain the rules, the way to enter a submission, updates that are periodically transmitted through the challenge post environment, discussions, and FAQ, and the Idea Bank, which is the tab that gets you to the Idea Bank challenge, which actually closed just last night. The second screenshot of the website shows you the instructions for how to enter a submission. So if you haven't already entered a submission, that's where you will need to go to enter your submission for the app design. And there is a template that you can access through this submission tab that will guide you to the content you need to submit for your app design proposal. And now I will begin to read the pre-approved questions, the questions that we have already gotten in through our info line. So I'm going to read the question and then answer the question. So my first question is, I have an app that's under development, or it's an existing app that I'd like to enter in the challenge. Is that allowed? The answer is yes. If your app design meets the criteria in the official rules, then we encourage you to submit it for consideration. The next question, what intellectual property rights does one keep or give up by participating or winning the contest? For the App Design Challenge, your app design will be made public after the challenge closes and your submission has passed screening. Intellectual property is outlined in Section 4 of the App Design Challenge rules. Each participant has to decide how the challenge rules impact their desire to participate. We do understand that some people will not be comfortable sharing their ideas in a public forum. these individuals and teams may wish to consider entering the Financial Capability Development Competition, or FinCapDev, which is a follow-on competition that will launch later this year and will challenge entrants to build their ideas into prototype apps before they are shared with the public. For more information on the FinCapDev competition, please visit the website fincapdev.com. My next question, what restrictions are there on winners? For example, does the app have to be freely available? Does it have to include a mention of the contest? The answer to that question is the official rules outline all details regarding winner restrictions and obligations. The app does not have to be freely available, nor does it have to include a mention of the contest. Will I need my own coder to develop my app design? No, you do not need a coder. For the App Design Challenge, you are submitting a written design. The requirements for submission are a 3 to 5 page proposal, a brief summary, and an image describing your app. A template and the official requirements are available on the challenge website that we just saw a screenshot of. My next question, if the business I work for wants to maintain ownership of an app design or an app idea and brand it, would that be possible? Again, the intellectual property is outlined in Section 4 of the rules. Each participant has to decide how the challenge rules impact their desire to participate. In this case as well, we understand that some people will not be comfortable sharing their ideas in a public forum. Again, these individuals and teams may wish to consider entering the FinCapDev competition, the Financial Capability Development Competition, which is a follow-on competition that will launch later this year and will challenge entrants to build ideas into prototype apps before they're shared with the public. The website again is for that competition is fincapdev.com. The next question. I am a student with an F1 visa. Am I eligible to enter the challenge? The answer to this question is no. If you are neither an American citizen nor are you a permanent resident, you are not eligible to submit to the challenge. The complete eligibility requirements are in Section 1 of the rules, which are available online. Okay. I just want to pause here for a second and remind all attendees that you can submit your questions. So please submit your questions online. Next question. Can I save my app design and then come back to it later? The answer to this question is yes. When you create your submission, click Save as Draft. We'll email you the link to come back later. It will also appear in a submissions menu. In the top right next to your account information. Can I edit my app design once I have submitted it? Yes, you may edit your design up until the close of the submission period. You do not need to resubmit if you do edit your design, you do not need to resubmit it. Next question. What sort of media exposure would my design proposal get? Finalist and winning proposals will be included in press releases announcing such and shared via the U.S. Treasury, CFSI, and D2D Fund social media channels, but only after the official announcements have been made. Finalist and winning proposals may also be featured in the CFSI and the D2D Fund electronic newsletters, again though, only after official announcements have been made. Once again, I wanted to remind all the attendees, please submit your questions online. Moving on to my next question. What sort of social media activity will my design proposal be subject to? Finalist and winning proposals will be recognized via U.S. Treasury, CFSI, and D2D social media channels, namely Facebook and Twitter, only after official announcements have been made. At those times, finalists and winners are welcome to socialize their achievements of being named a finalist or a winner. Prior to those official announcements, though, MyMoneyAppUp App Design Challenge participants cannot socialize links to the submissions because they will not be publicly viewable. The next question, where can I be kept up to date on the latest MyMoneyAppUp happenings? The answer is, following the hashtag #MyMoneyAppUp is a good place to get the latest challenge news. In addition, the handles at CFS Innovation, at D2D Fund, and at U.S. Treasury also post about the challenge on a regular basis. In addition, updates are already intermittently sent via email to those following and participating in the challenge. So if you have not yet followed the challenge, please do so. You can do so on the MyMoneyAppUp website, the URL of which is mymoneyappup.challenge.gov. My next question. When you say the potential for sustainability for the app, what does that mean? As I mentioned before during the presentation, the two questions the judges will be considering for this criterion are, what is the potential for the app to attract users? And what is the potential for the app to have a sustainable business model? The judging criteria and questions are on the downloadable template for your app submissions and are also in the official rules in Section 6. My next question is the FinCap Dev competition that I talked about earlier, is that competition open only to winners of the MyMoneyAppUp contest? The answer to that question is no. FinCap Dev will not be restricted only to winners of MyMoneyAppUp. And with that, I want to ask once again for attendees to submit more questions, and I'm going to turn this back to Sarah.
Thank you, Preeti, both for your presentation as well as for leading us through the the questions that came in advance of the call. We encourage anyone who is listening who has a question to submit that question to us via the webinar tool. We're going to pause for 60 seconds, approximately, to review all of the questions that have come in and to prepare our responses. So there will be dead silence on the line. We have not left you, but we will be working to respond to the live questions. Okay, we are back for the MyMoneyAppUp Challenge App Design FAQ webinar. We are currently processing and responding to all of the questions that have been submitted via the webinar tool during today's call. I'm going to turn it over to Nick Maynard from Doorways to Dreams Fund, who will begin sharing the questions as well as the answers to those that have been submitted. Nick.
Thanks, Sarah. So we're going to go through 4 of the questions and then take another brief pause. And we continue to ask that if you have questions, please continue sending those along. So the first question that came up was, is the deadline 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time or Pacific Time? The deadline is Eastern Time. The second question that came up was, will these slides be posted on the challenge website? Following this call, we plan to email all of those who've attended the webinar to let you know where you can find today's slides. A third question came up, how detailed does the description have to be? Our answer is that the description should be detailed enough to explain the overall purpose and functionality of the app. For the full application, we recommend 3 to 5 pages. There is a template for the full application available for download on the challenge site. Another question that came in, is there a time limit for the demo video of the app design? No, there is no time limit. So we're going to take another 60-minute pause, continue to field the questions that are coming in, and come back to you with some additional answers. Okay, I'm going to answer 2 more questions that have come in, and once again encourage you to continue to send in those questions. The next question that came in is, do you need functional or technical specifications? The answer is no, you do not need these specs. The template online will guide you through what's required in the submission process. Another question that came in, it's really 2 questions. Do we need to include storyboards or screenshots? Can we submit a few screenshots to explain the design with the written proposal? The answer is you need to submit at least one image, and you can submit up to 10 images. You can link to one video, which can be hosted on YouTube or Vimeo. All right, please continue to send in those questions, and we'll continue to work on the answers. Okay, another question has just come in. Who would be an idea winner? Idea winners are winners of the Parallel Idea Bank Challenge. The Idea Bank Challenge winners will be announced on August 17th. We encourage you to visit the Idea Bank site and vote for your favorite ideas now. There's a tab on the challenge site for Idea Bank. Continue to send in those questions, and we'll continue to work on answers. Great. We have two more questions that have come in. What happens at the winners event? The answer is that all finalists will present their designs. Winners will be selected and announced. Another question that's come in, will all submissions be available to review by others participating? The answer is that all approved submissions will be posted on the challenge website after the submission period ends on August 12th. Keep those questions coming, and we'll keep working on the answers. So another question has come in, will the judges be at the winners event? Yes, the judges will be at the winners event, and we'll listen to the finalist presentations. Keep those questions coming. Another question has come in. Did this contest happen last year? If so, who won? No, this contest did not happen last year. Please keep those questions coming in. Another question has come in, where and when will the winners event take place? Will travel expenses be covered? The winners event will take place in Washington, D.C. on September 28th. Travel to the event for all finalists will be reimbursed by the administrators in the amount up to $500 US for individual finalists and up to $1,500 US for finalist teams. Please keep those questions coming in. Another question has come in, can we submit an app design for an idea not in the idea bank? The answer is yes, you can. So another question has come in, can anyone use these submitted designs to create mobile app software? The answer is, for the App Design Challenge, your app design will be made public after the challenge closes and your submission has passed screening. Intellectual property is outlined in Section 4 of the App Design Challenge rules. Each participant has to decide how the challenge rules impact their desire to participate. Please keep those questions coming in. Another question has come in. Do you have preferences for platforms, or can the app be developed on one and could be redeveloped for another? In other words, developed on iOS 4 but could be developed on Android or others? The answer is we are asking for app design submissions, not prototype apps. We do not have a preference for the platform on which your app design would be implemented.
Hi, this is Sophie Raseman from the Department of Treasury. I'm the Director for Smart Disclosure. I'm going to answer a question that was posed. Where can I get more information about smart disclosure data? First, I'll just remind you about the different categories of smart disclosure data. And before I go into that, I should say that any data that's about a financial product, whether it's the price or attributes about the product or who the provider of the product is, could be considered smart disclosure data. And also any data that has to do with a person's personal financial circumstances, whether that data is the data about their financial accounts or data about their assets or their salary or their expected Social Security benefits. All that personal financial data is also considered smart disclosure data. So I'll give you a few thoughts about places to go to get more information. The federal government has a single website that is a portal to some of the highest value data sets that the government publishes, called data.gov. And if you go to data.gov, you'll find access to thousands of data sets that are made available for free by different federal agencies, and you'll be able to filter for data sets that are related to finance. You can also search for the memorandum on smart disclosure entitled Informing Consumers Through Smart Disclosure, released by the White House in September 2011. And with that, I will turn it over.
Thanks, Sophie. Just a reminder that you have about 60 seconds left to ask any last questions. Another question has come in. Do you expect rapid deployment of the winning apps, and will there be additional incentives and inducements? The answer is that winners can enter their app in the FinCap Dev competition, take the design further, and develop it into a fully functioning app. FinCap Dev will have cash prizes. Check www.fincapdev.com for more information later this summer. So you have about 1 minute left to get those questions in.
All right, this is Sarah Gordon from CFSI again, and thank you to Preeti and Nick for fielding all of the many questions. And thank you to everyone who's joined the call today for submitting such thoughtful questions and for bearing with us. We know that there were several moments of silence and pauses throughout that was necessary to enable we could deliver thoughtful responses to those questions. Before closing, I want to thank all of those who've helped to make this challenge possible, participants like you for bringing your best thinking and ideas to this important topic, the Treasury Department for their leadership in launching MyMoneyAppUp, the team here at CFSI and over at D2D Fund serving as challenge administrators, and the Ford Foundation, Ometeor Network, and City Foundation providing financial support for prizes and to cover the cost of administering the challenge here at D2D, or at CFSI and D2D. So we encourage everyone to submit their app design proposals before the August 12th deadline. If you have questions between now and then about the challenge or about your submissions, we encourage you to email them to info@mymoneyappup.com. And we also finally encourage you to check out the Idea Bank, which is a tab on the challenge website to see the more than 300 ideas that were submitted before the deadline last night. The submission period has closed, but public voting is still open until August 7th, and perhaps you'll see ideas there that will inspire great app design proposals. So thank you again for joining us. As we mentioned, the slides and the recording and the FAQ of all of the questions that were presented and answered on this call today will be made available after the call to all those who've registered. So thanks again, and that concludes our webinar today. Thanks so much.